In the world of stardom, where every whisper becomes a headline and every glance fuels endless speculation, the bond between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan has been one of the most captivating enigmas in modern entertainment. Fans across the globe have tirelessly dissected their on-screen chemistry, behind-the-scenes interactions, and the quiet silences that seem louder than words. Yet, hidden beneath the dazzling lights of fame lies a story far more profound. A secret approval that has left fans gasping in awe. Wang Yibo's family quietly, but wholeheartedly, gave their blessing to Xiao Zhan. This revelation, though whispered in hushed tones, has the kind of energy that shakes the very foundation of fandom culture. The approval wasn't loud. It wasn't public. It was discreet, carefully shielded from the cameras and the relentless world of gossip. But for those who managed to catch the subtle signs, the truth was crystal clear. Xiao Zhan was not just another colleague, not just a passing star in Wang Yibo's galaxy. He was someone cherished, respected, and embraced by the very people who shaped Wang Yibo's life. Let's step into this secret world, where family dinners carry more weight than red carpets, where smiles mean more than public statements, and where the unspoken can feel louder than the loudest declarations. It all began with something as ordinary as a meal. Wang Yibo, known for his reserved and guarded personality, has never been one to easily bring outsiders into his family circle. His family, protective of their son, tends to remain distant from the chaotic whirlwind of showbiz. Yet, when Xiao Zhan's name entered their household, something shifted. According to insiders, it wasn't an arranged introduction, nor was it a calculated public relations move. It happened naturally. During a quiet holiday season, Xiao Zhan found himself invited to an intimate dinner at the Wang family home. The air was thick with anticipation. The clinking of cutlery, the aroma of homemade dishes, the soft hum of background music, everything was set like a stage, but without cameras, without fans, without flashing lights. And then it happened. Xiao Zhan's warm demeanor melted the initial stiffness in the room. His laughter rang softly, his politeness charmed. But it wasn't just about manners, it was about sincerity. Wang Yibo's parents, often cautious and observant, watched closely. What they saw was not a star dressed in glamour, but a man of quiet grace, someone who carried respect in his gestures and kindness in his tone. As the evening unfolded, little things became monumental. Xiao Zhan complimented the family's cooking with genuine delight, sparking smiles that were rare in such guarded gatherings. He listened intently to Yibo's father's stories, occasionally adding light-hearted humor that drew laughter from even the most reserved corners of the table. At one point, Yibo's mother placed extra food into Xiao Zhan's bowl, an act so subtle, yet so telling. For those who understand the language of families, this gesture spoke volumes. He was no longer a guest, he was one of them. Behind the scenes, Wang Yibo's family had always worried about his world. Fame, after all, is a double-edged sword. It attracts attention, but not always the good kind. They had seen their son's life become a constant balancing act, his career dazzling success, but his personal world often burdened by loneliness and scrutiny. To them, what mattered most wasn't who Yibo worked with on-screen, but who could bring him peace off-screen. Xiao Zhan, with his calm and grounding presence, fit into that puzzle like the missing piece. He didn't need to prove himself with words. His actions spoke louder. Whether it was the way Yibo seemed more relaxed around him, the way laughter flowed more easily when he was present, or the way silence between them never felt awkward but comforting, his influence was undeniable. But the approval didn't just stop at the dinner table. Subtle hints began appearing, like hidden Easter eggs for those keen enough to notice. On a family outing once whispered about by those in the know, Xiao Zhan was seen walking alongside Yibo's relatives with effortless ease, his demeanor neither that of a guest nor a stranger, but as though he belonged. He carried groceries, helped with small tasks, and shared quiet conversations with Yibo's father in the corner of a park. And perhaps the most telling sign of all, Wang Yibo's own behavior. Known for his stoic expressions and reserved personality, Yibo is rarely one to display affection openly. But in the presence of Xiao Zhan, even his family noticed a softer side. He laughed more freely, his shoulders seemed less weighed down, and there was a brightness in his eyes that words could hardly describe. For parents, these subtle changes are louder than any confession. To them, happiness is visible, and Xiao Zhan was the reason behind it. As time passed, Xiao Zhan became less of a visitor and more of a constant presence. He remembered small details, like a boar's mother's favorite flowers, or the tea she preferred during evening conversations. He brought thoughtful gifts, not extravagant or flashy, but meaningful. A handmade item here, a favorite snack there, gestures that showed care, not performance. Family friends who happened to catch glimpses of these interactions spoke in hushed admiration. It's rare, one reportedly said, to see someone from the entertainment world who carries himself with such humility in private. Xiao Zhan doesn't act like a star when he's with them. He acts like family. And slowly, the unspoken truth took root. Wang Yibo's family had silently, but firmly, given their blessing. Yet what makes this story truly remarkable isn't just the approval, it's the secrecy. The family didn't announce it, nor did they parade it in the media. Instead, their approval lived in their actions, their acceptance, their quiet smiles. And perhaps that's what makes it so powerful. Love doesn't always need a grand stage. Sometimes, it's the silence, the subtle nods, the shared glances that tell the most extraordinary tales. For fans, the realization hit like a tidal wave. The idea that Yibo's family, the very foundation of his private world, had embraced Xiao Zhan, turned the narrative upside down. Suddenly, every fan theory about their bond seemed less like fantasy and more like reality sprinkled with hidden truths. Imagine it, two men, bound not just by shared passion for their craft, but by something far deeper. One's family, the ultimate guardians of his happiness, quietly watching, quietly approving, quietly opening the door to a bond that defied the chaos of celebrity life. And in the middle of all this, Wang Yibo himself remained as enigmatic as ever. He never spoke about it openly, never gave the media the satisfaction of a headline. Yet those who paid attention knew. His silence wasn't denial, it was protection. Protection of something fragile, something precious, something worth shielding from the world's glare. In the end, this story isn't just about approval. It's about trust. It's about a family recognizing that love, no matter what form it takes, deserves to be nurtured. It's about Xiao Zhan walking into a home not as an outsider, but as someone who brought light to their son's life. And perhaps the most breathtaking part of all is that the fans, too, became part of this unspoken understanding. They pieced together the fragments, connected the dots, and saw the picture for what it truly was, a quiet love story blessed in the most sacred of ways. So while the world continues to speculate, while the media spins tales and fans debate endlessly, one truth remains unshaken. Wang Yibo's family secretly, wholeheartedly, approved of Xiao Zhan. And sometimes, the quietest approvals carry the loudest power. Because in the end, the loudest love stories aren't always shouted from rooftops. Sometimes, they are whispered across a dinner table, shared in soft glances, and sealed with the warmth of a family's silent embrace. The moment Xiao Zhan walked into the Wang family home that evening, it was as though time paused for just a second. The warm glow of lantern lights cast soft shadows on the wooden walls, the delicate aroma of traditional dishes floated through the air, and there was a silence that carried 1,000 unspoken questions. For Wang Yibo's family, this wasn't just another dinner. It was a moment that would decide whether Xiao Zhan was simply a passing name in Yibo's glittering career or someone who truly belonged. At first, there was a stillness. Yibo's father, known for his stern demeanor, sat upright at the head of the table, his eyes sharp but curious. His mother moved quietly, arranging bowls and chopsticks with the grace of someone who carried both hospitality and caution. Yibo himself was unusually tense, his fingers brushing against the edge of the table, betraying a nervousness he rarely showed in public. For a man of few words, bringing someone into his family's world was monumental. Then, Xiao Zhan entered. Dressed simply, without the flamboyance of stardom, he carried with him not the aura of a celebrity but the warmth of a friend. His smile was soft, his greeting respectful, and his eyes reflected sincerity. He bowed slightly as he stepped in, offering small gifts wrapped in neat paper, thoughtful tokens that were not extravagant, but meaningful. A box of specialty tea for Yibo's father, a silk scarf for his mother, and a hand-drawn sketch that he had quietly made of the family's hometown scenery. It wasn't the gift of a star. It was the gesture of someone who wanted to be understood. The ice began to melt. As they sat down, the sound of clinking chopsticks filled the room. At first, the conversation was formal, the kind that carries politeness but not depth. Yibo's mother asked about Xiao Zhan's health, his work, his family back home. He answered with humility, occasionally adding small anecdotes that revealed not just who he was, but how he lived, with gratitude, with respect, with kindness. But the real magic happened in the little moments. When Yibo's father shared a story from his youth, Xiao Zhan didn't just nod politely. He leaned in, truly listening, his laughter breaking out at just the right moment when the tale took a humorous turn. When Yibo's mother placed a dish in front of him, Xiao Zhan didn't hesitate. He thanked her warmly, praised her cooking sincerely, and even asked for the recipe, which earned a wry smile from her lips. And then, the scene that sealed it all. Halfway through the meal, Yibo reached for a dish across the table. Without thinking, Xiao Zhan gently placed the serving spoon in Yibo's hand before he even asked. It was such a small gesture, but one that didn't escape the eyes of his parents. The familiarity, the ease, the silent understanding, it spoke louder than words. Parents know these things. They know when someone is more than just a friend. The room, once heavy with formality, slowly filled with lightness. The laughter came easier. The stories flowed more naturally. Even Yibo, usually reserved in front of his family, seemed more relaxed, more alive. He cracked a joke, something he rarely did at home, and his mother noticed the way Xiao Zhan's eyes sparkled in response, the way he looked at her son with quiet admiration. After dinner, as tradition dictated, they sat together in the living room for tea. The steam rose from delicate porcelain cups, curling in the air like whispers. Yibo's father asked Xiao Zhan about his struggles, about the pressures of fame. And Xiao Zhan, instead of glossing over the hardships, spoke with honesty. He shared how he found strength in simple things: reading, painting, spending quiet evenings instead of chasing the chaos of celebrity life. His words carried weight, not because they were rehearsed, but because they were real. At one point, Yibo's mother leaned forward and asked softly, "Do you find peace in this life you live?" Xiao Zhan paused, glanced at Yibo, and replied, "Peace is rare in this world. But sometimes, peace is not a place, it's a person. And when you find that person, everything feels lighter." The silence that followed was powerful. Yibo's father exchanged a look with his wife, a look that parents share when they understand something unspoken. And in that moment, approval was quietly born, not through declarations, not through grand gestures, but through a shared realization. Xiao Zhan was someone who brought their son peace. Later that night, when Xiao Zhan helped clear the table, Yibo's mother slipped an extra dumpling into his bowl, smiling in a way she rarely did for outsiders. For anyone watching, it might have seemed insignificant, but for those who knew the Wang family, it was everything. That dumpling wasn't just food, it was acceptance. It was her silent way of saying, "You are welcome here." As Xiao Zhan left the house that night, the Wang family stood by the doorway. Yibo's father gave a rare nod, his eyes softer than usual. His mother gently reminded him to visit again, her tone carrying a warmth she reserved only for those she cherished. And Wang Yibo, standing quietly by his side, felt something shift deep within him. He didn't have to explain. He didn't have to ask. He knew. His family had seen what he saw. They had felt what he felt. And in their own quiet, guarded way, they had given their blessing. That first dinner became the foundation of everything that followed. It was a night where walls crumbled, where silence spoke, and where approval was sealed not with words but with actions. It was the moment when Xiao Zhan stopped being Wang Yibo's colleague and became someone the family embraced. And to this day, for those who know the story, that dinner remains unforgettable. A night where laughter, sincerity, and the smallest gestures created a bond that no spotlight could ever outshine. Sparkles if you enjoyed this continuation of the hidden story behind Wang Yibo's family's secret approval of Xiao Zhan. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing stories and behind-the-scenes revelations. Your support keeps these beautiful stories alive.